Welcome to this episode of the Million Dollar Mastermind. I'm Larry Weidel, and let's get started. This episode is another idea I'm sharing with you from my own personal daily reflections on winning. Do you write things down? The great thing about writing things down is they get specific. And as you've probably heard me say over and over again, you've got to be specific to be dynamic. You've got to know where you're going before you can go there. And one of the best stories I ever heard from Vignesh Kumar was about somebody who was not that special, but they were very defined in what they believed in, and they talked about it over and over and over, and they became well known for these concepts that are concepts that everybody uses to one degree or another, but just by repeating them over and over and over, this person elevated themselves up to become a big celebrity, actually a big success in business. And so that challenged me to start writing down my top 10. So have you ever thought about writing down your top 10 or your top 3? Suppose Harvard called you. Suppose some big university in the area called and had you come in to speak at their graduation or whatever. What would you talk about? What would you talk about? Well, if you know what you believe in, you'd have things to talk about that you're passionate about, because the way you're successful speaking is you talk about the things that you would fight for, that you believe in so much you would fight for. And so maybe I should talk about that sometime. But anyway, what are your top 10 things? Because you and I, we're always only going to be as successful as what is in our minds in a given situation or circumstance. We're actually controlled by what we believe, because that drives our action, because we believe something happens and then we interpret it a certain way, then we respond in a certain way. So, what are your top 10 things you believe in? And so maybe you could move up your performance higher up the peak performance chain by getting organized about what you believe in, because you can always revise them, You can always revise them. And so when I started writing down the top 10 things, of course, I got about 30, 40, 50. And then it dawned on me, wait a minute, these don't all apply to, they apply to different sides of life. You can actually have your own top 10, or at least your own top 3 about what you believe about life, about God. You hear people on these interviews and the podcast will say, my faith brought me through. Well, what is your faith? What do you believe in? What do you believe about success? What do you believe about family? What are the top 10 things you believe about marriage, kids, health, nutrition, retirement, recreation? All of these things are parts of your life. What do you believe about them? What do you believe about vacations, recreation? For you, what works the best? So maybe you could start writing things down, because beliefs inform your actions and your goals. See, your beliefs inform your goals, which inform your actions, which again, you see the results of those beliefs played out in life, and then that allows you to fine-tune your beliefs. It's kind of like a cycle that goes around. But if you never write them down, you kind of believe this and you kind of believe that, that's the mark of a child. I hate to tell you, that's the mark of a child. And as it says in Ephesians in the Bible, the mark of a child is you're tossed to and fro by every wind of doctrine. Maturity The difference between the mature and the immature is the mature know what they believe in. That's what gives them the character, the backbone, the stability. And so, you know, the reason so many of us like golf is so much of this stuff plays out in golf. It does in other areas of life too. But you get all these different tips on how to hit a golf ball, but they don't apply. They don't all apply all across the board. You know, like there's certain things you'll do on the tee box when you got a long club and you're trying to hit it a long way. It's totally different than what you'll do if you're in a bunker. You know, you're in the sand. And it's also different if you're in the sand way, 100, 50, 100 or so, 150 yards away from the green. You do different things. You take a different swing. You set yourself up different. And part of learning golf is like, when I get here, I do this. And that's what I've done with myself is like, I can't remember all this stuff, but I do know the 1, 2, 3. I pretty much have a 1, 2, 3. When I get in this situation, okay, do this, do this, do this. Boom. That takes most of the errors out of the way. Yeah, of course, I don't always execute it, what's in my mind, but at least I've got myself going in the right direction. But if it's a putt, it's a short putt, it's a long putt, it's a medium putt, you have things you say to yourself. If you're on a rolling green, if you're on a flat green, there's different ways you read, not only do your stroke, but how you read the green. You know, what things do you look for? You look for the grain. You look, where's the sun? Where's the nearest mountain, or stream? That's going to cause, pull it over, this, that, the other. All of you non-golfers will be bored to tears at this point. But when they're walking around the green, looking at how they're going to hit it or where the line would be, best line, that's what they're looking at things like this, not just where are the lumps. And so as you go through life, a lot of subtleties out there that you'll discover as you go through life. A lot of refinements. Why not write them down? Why not start to write your top 10 things you believe? Write them down today, because that will start giving you more sharpness, stability, focus internally as you go through life. Thanks for listening to this episode of $1 Million Mastermind with me, Larry Weidel. If I've helped you in any way, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. For more information like this, listen to our other $1 Million Mastermind episodes and check out my Weidel Academy YouTube channel and visit us on WeidelOnWinning.com. I'm the $1 Million Mastermind, and until next time, go, go, go.